Good afternoon. It is Wednesday once again already, and welcome to RobMotive Live. Anyway, it is Wednesday. It is a little bit of a chilly day here today. It is 68 degrees, but it is sunshiny. Yeah, I've got the door closed. I'm not exactly sure why. Probably need to let a little bit of that outdoor heat in here. Before we get started, and yeah, you saw the title of the live stream, right? I don't know, could be a problem. We're gonna get to that. But we gotta take a look at the awesome Supersonic Red 2024 Toyota Tacoma TRD Sport. And yes, if you're new, if you're just popping in here, it does have the full fake hood scoop on it. Not a big deal for me. I like the hood scoop anyway. And honestly, if I'm driving around in the truck, I can't really tell if that hood scoop is real or not. Unless, of course, it were to inject a little bit of power into the new Tacoma, but it's pretty powerful anyway. So, what is this with the new turbo? We got to talk about the new turbo because there's been a lot of chatter out there about the new turbo. There's a lot of turbo haters out there, and I don't really understand it. You know, turbos have been around for a long time. It's not like they're anything really new, right? But still, there's a lot of hate out there with this new Tacoma and the turbo, and there might be a good reason. We're gonna get to that in just a second. First of all, a few comments. Gotta greet you guys out there. We got Daryl Watts says, good morning, Rob. Good morning, Daryl. Carlos Gonzalez. Hello. Howdy, Carlos. Jeff Fielder. Good morning. John Cagliano. I always struggle with that name. I don't know. John says, hey, Rob, liking the 24 looks good. It is awesome. Awesome. Michael Cacazo. Hi, Rob. Spring snowstorm coming to New Hampshire tonight into tomorrow. 6 to 12 inches. Oh my God. How do you people live up there? It's March. It's April now. It's supposed to be warm. Well, it's warm here anyway. Automan Dan says, hey, Rob. Hey, Dan. What's up, buddy? John, getting better each time. LOL. Well, that's good. That's good. Wayne Scott. Sup, Rob? Is turbo and problem in the same word? Yeah, we're going to talk about that. I discovered something recently. I made a video about it recently. So if you watch the channel, then you probably have a clue as to where I'm going to go with this. Dan, well, I have some good news. I got a new vehicle. What did you get, Dan? Lay it on us, brother. Lee Mark Gayton. Good morning. I recently purchased a 15 Tacoma. It had 117,000 miles. I'm hearing good things about it. I would like your opinion. I like my truck. That's all that matters. If it looks good and it runs good and you don't have any issues with it and you got a good price, that's a big thumbs up to you. And speaking of thumbs ups, if you're new on here or you're just joining, make sure you smash that subscribe button. It's somewhere on your screen. Hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. We only have 3 likes in here right now. That's the thumbs up button, by the way. Smash that too while you're at it. I would appreciate it. Michael, I drive a 2021 Toyota Tacoma 4-wheel drive, LOL. Well, that's good because you're going to need it later today and tomorrow, I think, with that snow. Automan Dan got a 2017 Ford Escape with a 2.5 liter inline 4. How do you like it? Steven, no turbo for Dan. It's your money. You got to buy what you like, right? Because I'm sure as hell not sending you a check. Steven Suarez. I have a 2021 Tacoma also, and tomorrow I'm putting a new innovative chip in it. Be careful. Be careful when you start messing with the brains of your Tacoma. You don't want it to go crazy, right? I mean, look at that thing. I just have to show it real quick. Isn't it awesome? It's awesome. And no, I haven't messed with the brain. I never do mess with the brain. I'm not one of these tuner guys. You know, everybody, you see these tuner guys. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, if you want it, it's your truck, do what you want. But me, I don't want to screw with the brains of my truck, you know. Michael, yes, sir. I love catching the lives. Well, I love having you here. Thank you very much. John, 22 Tacoma for life as long as the rear wheels don't fall off. LOL. Hashtag recall. All right, let's talk about this turbo thing. Now, like I said, I posted a video the other day about this, and I wasn't aware. You know, a lot of people I shouldn't say I wasn't aware, I have heard. A lot of people have told me about this potential problem with the turbo, and that is that you have to let it cool down. When you start it up, you shouldn't take off right away. When you come home, you should sit for an hour and a half or something like that and let it idle in your garage or driveway so that that turbo can cool down. So I whipped out the old manual because I actually stumbled across this. I was doing a video on break-in and I came across this little blurb about the turbo. It says here, idling time before engine stop. This is on page 187 of the manual, by the way. I'm not making this up. It's true. It says to prevent damage to the turbocharger. Uh-oh, red flag right away. I'm like, what do you mean to prevent damage? What? Wait, let's get serious here. All right, got to flip the hat around like I'm getting serious. I'm thinking, what do you mean damage? What? I don't want any damage. It says, allow the engine to idle immediately after, and this is where the kicker comes in, and a little bit of confusion, I think. Immediately after high-speed driving or hill climbing. High-speed driving, what does that mean? So, there's a little chart here to help us out, to help us understand. Before I get to that chart, I must implore you, please click that subscribe button. Really would help me out. I'd really appreciate it. And it doesn't cost you a dime. That way you won't miss out on any upcoming live stream videos. And if you click that notification bell, that every time I put out a video or be live, you'll get notification. Also, hit the thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. We got 102 people on here and only 10. We've got 10 people now actually like it. That makes me feel a little unwanted. I don't understand. Anyway, let's get to this chart. Driving condition. Normal driving, idling time. This is for the turbo now. Not necessary. Well, that's good because I pretty much drive my Tacoma normally. I mean, I don't drive it abnormally. So I thought I was in the clear. I don't have to worry about this. This is for other people. Other people. No. High-speed driving. This is where the kicker comes in. High-speed driving, constant speed of approximately 50 miles per hour, well, that's 80 kilometers per hour for you metric folks, any Canadians or Europeans out there. Idling time, not necessary. Again, I think I'm in the clear. I can cruise around at 50 miles an hour, or 50 cent. He's big in the news lately. But anyway, not necessary. No after driving idling necessary. Cool. But now we get to the bad part, the shocking part. Steep hill driving or continuous driving at 62 miles an hour. Now, depending on where you live, the speed limit is 65. And nobody drives the speed limit, so you're traveling probably 70, 75. If you live in some of those other high-speed areas, you could be 75, 80 miles an hour. Now, at 62, again, for you metric folk, that's 100 kilometers per hour or more. And they include in this little caveat, racetrack driving. We'll get to that in a minute. Now, idling time. Pay attention. This is very important. Idling time, approximately 1 minute. So, if you're driving in steep hills or on steep hills or at a continuous speed of 62 miles per hour or tracking your Tacoma, you're supposed to let the turbo or the truck idle for 1 minute after you stop. I assume that doesn't mean you put it in neutral and just let it idle, but maybe it does. What's the difference, right? So for 1 minute after you're driving at highway speeds, you're supposed to let the Tacoma idle. Now, here's where the confusion comes in. This is where I'm confused, and maybe some of you can help me. What if I drove, let's say I drove for 3 hours, 2 hours. Let's make it 2 hours or even an hour on the freeway. continuous speed, 65 plus miles an hour, and then I turn off. Now, obviously, if I just turn off the freeway and I'm in my garage, I gotta let the Tacoma idle for a minute, right? That's what it says. But what if I turn off and now I'm driving city streets? Let's say I've got a half hour before, or 15 minutes even, before I get to my destination. Home, a restaurant, a mall, whatever it is. Do I still have to let the truck sit and idle for a minute? I mean, I've been driving around at speeds below 62 miles an hour for 15 minutes. I'm just cruising around, you know, doing my thing. Do I still have to let it sit and idle? That's where this gets confusing for me. And it says in here, high-speed driving or continuous driving. Well, what does continuous really mean? What if 10 minutes of my commute is 65 miles an hour, and then 45 miles an hour, and then 65 miles an hour? You see where I'm going with this? It's very freaking confusing. I don't understand. Help me out. What does it really mean? So this is where the problem for the 24 Tacoma, the turbo Tacoma, arises. What if you don't do that? What if you don't do that? It says here to prevent damage to the turbocharger. It does not say to increase the longevity or life of the turbocharger. It just says to prevent damage. Does that mean if I do this one time, let's say I'm on the freeway and I went to Butte, Montana. I don't know, pick a place. I go to San Antonio, Texas. I drive for 4 hours or whatever it is at highway speeds. I turn off, I pull in, turn the vehicle off. Is it going to be permanently damaged now? Have I already done something wrong? That's what's going to be interesting to see going forward with the Tacoma is how long do these last if indeed you're truly damaging your truck by driving it continuously at highway speeds and not taking that 1 minute to sit back and let it cool or recuperate or whatever it does. I don't know. By the way, got to check her out. Could you imagine damaging this beautiful truck because I didn't wait 1 minute? And I know 1 minute, is that a long time is that too much to ask? It is for me. I'm impatient to sit and wait for 1 minute. And what about this environmental crap? In my truck, which by the way has auto stop, and I have since been educated that because it's two-wheel drive, that's right, it's two-wheel drive, it has auto stop. So we're all worried about the environment and emissions and auto stop, but I gotta let it sit and idle for a minute, burning fuel, polluting the environment to let the turbocharger cool down. What the hell is that? And what happens, speaking of auto stop, I get off the freeway, I pull in to wherever I'm going, you know, right off the freeway, maybe it's a rest stop. And I'm sitting, I'm doing what they tell me to do, right? I'm gonna wait that 1 minute of my life, but auto stop kicks in. What happens then? Auto stop kicks in, I couldn't wait my 1 minute. I see a lawsuit here. Is that Toyota's fault? They tell me I have to wait a minute, and then they put something in the truck that won't allow me to wait a minute. That sounds to me like a problem. I don't know, am I thinking too much about this? Am I? I don't think so. I think that's a problem. A good reason to not have auto stop. Maybe Toyota will get rid of auto stop because of this, right? I mean, if there's enough chatter about this, go to your dealerships, ask them, complain. I have auto stop if you have a two-wheel drive. I have auto stop, but the manual right here, and show them, tell them it's on page 187. Tells me I have to let the truck idle for a minute, but the auto stop shuts it off and I have no choice. What am I supposed to do? That's what I want to know. Anyway, that is a big potential problem with the new Tacoma, I think. Time will tell. Nobody knows yet. We won't know. Let's see what the comments are. I want to see what you guys have to say about this. First, I got to figure out where the heck I left off. Automan Dan, so far nothing bad. Had a valve act up. Simple fix though, under warranty. Well, that's a bummer. You just got this car. How can you have a valve problem? I don't know. Taco Dream Maker, reading. It's fundamental. Happy Wednesday, Rob. Happy Wednesday to you. By the way, before I carry on with these comments, you got to do me a favor. You got to do me a solid. Is that what the young kids say? You got to do me a favor. You got to click that subscribe button. If you haven't clicked the subscribe button, I would appreciate it if you did it right now. Click that subscribe button and don't forget the thumbs up button. Let's move on. Michael, the bed mat from the old did not fit the new truck. No, it didn't. It was a little bit too long, and the wheel wells are a little bit different. So it doesn't fit two different ways, I guess. Joseph Cantanzarite. That's what I'm going with. I'm sorry if I'm screwing it up. Love my new 24 Tacoma Sport coming from a 2010 Tacoma. Oh, there's no comparison. I mean, except for this turbo thing. I mean, there's no comparison between them. It is such a step up for the Tacoma, I think. Ani 64, I still drive my 86 22R. You're a smart person, let me tell you. George Andrews, will the auto stop feature interfere with the needed turbo cool down? George, you read my mind before I even got to it in my little rant there. That's my question. I mean, what the hell? I'm supposed to stop and let it run for a minute, but the truck won't let me run for a minute. So now I'm supposed to turn off, and it doesn't say to do this. I'm supposed to turn off, push the button so the auto stop doesn't kick in. But they don't say this, so I don't do it, and my turbo blows up. Isn't that a problem? I would think so. Mike S. Hey, Rob. Hey, Mike. How you doing there, buddy? Hokey Duck 2002 2.7 with 419,529 miles. Wow. Well, where was I? Jonathan says buy a turbo timer. I don't even know what a turbo timer is. Maybe that, you know what? I get you. That's a good idea. I should make a turbo timer, market it on the channel, and sell it. It could look like a Tacoma, has a little gauge on it where it goes tick, 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 and then when it goes ding, ding. I'm not gonna do it again. But when it dings, then you know that it's okay to go ahead and turn your Tacoma off. Oh my God. And if this is the case and it's so damn important, why don't they just have it so that when you push the button to shut your truck off, it knows it's got to run a little longer, and there's a minute delay before that happens. I suppose it wouldn't be good if you pull in your garage and shut the door, but is a minute bad for you? I don't know. I don't recommend you doing that, by the way. Don't run your truck in your garage. Mike S. So, you don't burn the oil in the turbo. I don't know. Automan Dan, sounds like Toyota should have stuck with the V6 instead of going with the Turbo 4. Well, that's a dead horse, beaten. Jonathan, turbo bearings will fail. Mike S. Yep, a turbo timer. I really like that. I think that's pretty cool. Mike S. Read that. Jonathan says, yep, agreed. V6. Jonathan, that 6 is a great motor. Yeah, it's tried and tested, and now it's gone. John, I feel like at most times there are a few traffic lights off the freeway. Maybe that would count towards time for it unless your destination is second off the exit. That's what I'm saying. I mean, that should be enough time, right? You get off the freeway, you got to stop at a light, you got to pull into wherever you're pulling in. But what about a rest stop? You're on the freeway, you're cruising at 75 mile an hour, zoom into the rest stop. You got to go, man. I mean, you've got to use the facilities. You're not going to wait a minute, are you? I mean, imagine you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? But you can't, because you got to wait for your Tacoma to cool off. Ooh, that sounds very uncomfortable to me. TMI, I guess, right? Jonathan says, you pay if not. Automan Dan, Rob, I agree. Very confusing. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. They didn't cover it well enough for me. I'm a pretty literal person anyway, so they needed to explain that a little bit better. Wayne Deschodel. I think it's the turbo and 4-cylinder. If the truck has 6-cylinder with a turbo, it'll be a different story. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think a turbo is a turbo, no matter what size engine it's in, I believe. Desert 6.7. Toyota should have developed the advantages of an inline 6 versus V6, and especially the turbo 4. So many advantages with the inline configuration. Yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda. You know, who knows why they do what they do. Autobanden, which is weird because Ford never had any of those with the 2.3-liter turbo in their vehicle. I don't know. Michael, how was the gas mileage with the new truck, and do you have remote start? I have a video coming on remote start. I actually did a short on it. I think there's already the answer to that question out there. Let's see, gas mileage. I'm getting just over 18 miles per gallon. But honestly, that is primarily city driving. So I don't really expect to be hypermiling in it. But it's better than my other one, which was at what? 14.7 to 16 mile per gallon. So, but I had bigger tires and I had weight on it and, you know, the sport bar and that stuff, which by the way, I've already been adding some stuff to this truck. It's nothing you can see yet, but I did a major mod yesterday. Which is going to be very helpful, I think, to anybody out there doing different things incorporated within this mod. So stay tuned for that. I'm not going to give it away, but it's coming and you can't even see it. I also did a little cutting. I did. I defiled my new Tacoma. I'm so sorry. Bouchon, they're trying to keep up with the EPA regulations. But then why would they require you to leave it sit and idle for a minute? That seems counterintuitive to me. Trying to cut down on emissions, but got to let the truck sit and idle aimlessly for a minute. Now imagine, it's not so bad when it's just one or your truck, but what happens when thousands of them are doing that? Tens of thousands of them. They're all sitting there idling and spewing out emissions. I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't know. Let's see. Mike S says auto stop is lousy. We couldn't agree more on that one. Howard Holt, just drive it till it quits. Just bought one. Toyota has been pretty bulletproof. I'll trust them or trade it. That's always the answer. If you've got a dog of a vehicle, like let's say you have a valve problem, trade it. Just trade it off. Let it be somebody else's issue. That's typically the problem, with used vehicles. You know, a lot of them, not all of them, are somebody else's problem that you are now buying. Automan Dan says, I think for Toyota, cut cost with the new Tacoma. I don't know about that. There's a lot of improvements in it. Wayne Scott, Rob, you have any grandkids? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. You can see. No, you can't. I moved it. Where did I move it? Oh, it's over there. Right over there. It says... What does it say? I can't read it backwards. It says Grandpa's Garage, right up there. That's because I do. Little cuties. Let's see. Damon Ortiz says, I'm subbed. Subbed! Somebody said the word sub. We got to talk about it. You know I have to keep reminding you guys, because if I don't, you're not going to remember. Click that subscribe button real quick. It helps out the channel. I really appreciate it. And as usual, it shows me a little bit of love. Kind of weird, isn't it? Anyway, I would appreciate it if you click that subscribe button. And Damian Ortiz, thank you very much for hitting that button. I do appreciate it. Will Anderson says, Bronco better than Jeep. I disagree. I disagree. Bronco is the latest fad vehicle. We'll see how it is in a few years. I don't know. I mean, I don't have anything big against the Bronco, but it's just not my thing. So, you know. Busom, still rocking my 3rd gen 4Runner. Just need to work on my rusted frame. Oh, yes, the Toyota frame problem. That sucks. I hope you get it worked out. Troy Build Adventures. Hey, Rob, if you did not have a YouTube channel, would you stick with the 3rd gen? Curious minds want to know. Thanks. I would not have gotten the 4th gen as soon as I did, that's for sure. But I have a car buying problem. You see, I've had close to 80, I think, vehicles in my lifetime. So would I have gotten a new Tacoma? I tell you what, I put it like this. if I had the third gen and I didn't have a YouTube channel and for some reason I drove the new Tacoma, I would have bought the new Tacoma because it is so much better, quicker, more comfortable, quieter. I mean, you name it. Other than the unknown of reliability and this potential turbo problem, I would have bought it at that point because I really like it. And I had my doubts before I did. You know, I've done videos about how I felt about the new Tacoma, you know, the roof cap thing up there. If you're not familiar with that, let me show you. You know, there were some things that I wasn't real hip on, like this. You see this? I mean, what the hell is this? What is this? Look at this. This is the line of the truck. And then, I mean, is that a spoiler? Is that supposed to give us better power or fuel economy? I don't know. And then, and these are the only really two weird things. Look at this window. Did somebody out there run out of time and design and said, to heck with it. Let's just slap a piece of glass in there and not finish the corners. I mean, look at it. It looks like it just kind of sticks out there. I don't understand it. But neither one of those would have kept me from buying it. I mean, I like the truck, so it's not like I just said, well, it's got a funky looking roof, I'm not gonna buy it. Now, if it was much more pronounced, let's say it stuck out a foot or something, well, then I'd have had some misgivings. I'd have had a problem. I wouldn't have bought it in that case, but that's the long answer to your short question there. Michael, could you trim the mat at all to make it fit? Yeah, I could. I mean, I could change the wheel well area somewhat, but then the mat's gonna be shorter. I mean, I'd have to cut it quite a bit. And then I could cut the end off, although by cutting the wheel well areas, it might allow it to slip in a little more and may not need to be, but it's just it's a hassle. I may try it anyway, you know, for the channel to let anybody know. In the end, I'll probably ruin it and probably would end up getting a new one, but maybe that's a good idea. I should try it. I still have it, so I don't know. Damon Ortiz, I have a cement Toyota Tacoma 2021 TRD Sport. Love that color. I had a cement Tundra, and it was awesome. So, nice color. John Jager, hey Rob, do you regret getting rid of your Tacoma? What? What are you talking about? I have a Tacoma. What do you mean regret getting rid of my Tacoma? Oh, you mean getting rid of the third gen Tacoma? No, I don't. I can honestly say I don't miss it at all. I don't miss it at all. This truck is just so much freaking better that no, I don't regret it. John, hey Rob, what I was trying to say is, do you regret getting rid of your 2023 Tacoma? Where was it? God, I lost my place for this one. Just answered that. You clarified before I read your comment. Michael Garatice. Garatice. Tex? I don't know. I don't know. I tried. Is it a good idea to buy the first models of a new generation? I would say probably not. But you do have warranty. So if you don't mind sitting at the dealership while they repair anything that goes wrong, like the four-wheel drive system, like the shutters. And there are shutters, by the way, behind the grill, you know, for airflow and stuff. I haven't had any of these issues. I haven't had any issues, but I haven't had the truck that long, so time will tell. Johnny Purdue, if we keep complaining about our 2023's remote shutting off when we open the door, do you think Toyota will come up with a solution about that? We can wish. No, I don't. If they were going to do that, they would have done that before they put out a fourth gen. I don't think that's ever going to change. Dylan Kennedy, no immediate damage, decreased longevity, wouldn't really be a factor either unless you're going highway speeds and then immediately shut off the engine. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Although their description is not clear, but that's what I'm thinking. Robert Almanza, I have a 2013 super white double cab TRD off-road pre-runner V6 SR5. I'm keeping her. Good idea. Carlos Quintana. I drive a Hilux or Helix, depending on how you say it, in El Salvador, and never wait a minute, LOL. Let's see, I have a 2013. Have you had it since it was new, and has the turbo ever been replaced? I'm curious. Carlos Quintana, I just read that. Dylan Kennedy, most turbos are linked to the cooling system now, whereas the older turbos were only cooled by the oil supply, which is where the idling for a minute comes from. Well, then I would say the new Tacoma must have the old system, because what I read you was from the new manual from the new Tacoma, so I don't know. Automan Dan, well, Rob, I got to head out, got to get stuff done, so take care. Dan, thanks for being on, and congratulations on your new Ford Escape. Michael, just asked because my lease is up in August and I'm thinking of upgrading my 21 SR for an SR 2025. Well, by then it'll have been out for a year, and you can bet a lot of whatever's going to happen will have happened, so I think you're safe. Brand 7 Hondo, congratulations on your new truck, Rob. I'm a bit sad that my Gen 3 will not see many more mod ideas anymore. Let me tell you, I've got so many videos out there on mods for the 2023 that, quite honestly, I'd be surprised if you've done every one that I've done. So I think I have a pretty good backlog to keep you busy out there. And a lot of them can be shared. I mean, let's take, for example, I don't know, the Sport Bar. I mean, the Sport Bar is not specific to the 23 or the 24 or the 25. So there are things that can be shared. Plus, there are ideas of things that can be used in either model. So it's not like anything that I do is not going to be applicable to anything else. You know what I mean? Don't think that. That's not true. Let's see. Cletus Jenkins. Hey, I have a question. If you plug your phone into your Gladiator before you start it, do your song switch buttons not work too? Song switch buttons. I'm not exactly sure what you mean. Imham 14. I'm waiting for a Tacoma to be delivered this week. Awesome! I bet you're excited. What flavor? What are you getting? Model, color, that kind of thing? Uno says, Roberto. Hello, buddy. Just coming in to say hi and a thumb up. At work, take care, brother. Uno, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And speaking of thumbs ups, we got to mention it again. If you haven't, click that subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. You probably get sick of me saying that if you've been on here for the whole live stream. But if you're like me, when I'm watching the live and I'm interested, I'm so interested that I forget sometimes to click that subscribe button. So click it. I'd really appreciate it. And don't forget the thumbs up either. Let's take a look at the RobMotive special. There you go. Check that out. Got a couple of Tacomas under here. I need a red one. But anyway, that's the backdrop in case you're wondering. I just happened to think of it myself. So I thought I'd show you. Brand 700 says, it'll be reliable. Toyota will work out any potential hiccups. Absolutely. I mean, that's what they'll do. Jacob Shavaria. That's what I'm going with, Shavaria. Just get a 1988 Toyota 4Runner 4-cylinder, no problem. Nah, I don't want an SUV. I mean, I have a RAV4. That's enough SUV for me. I certainly wouldn't do a channel on an SUV. I just don't think there's enough interest for it out there. Let's have a little sip of the green nectar. There aren't many things better, I got to admit. There are a lot of things better for you, though. Let's see. Garrett Bartos. Hey, Rob. Red looks great. Tacoma's just starting to arrive up here in Vancouver, BC. That's British Columbia. Not afraid of the turbo. After test driving the 24, I ordered mine and am trading a 21. Yeah, that's what I keep telling people. You know, I get people on the channel, all they want to do is cry about the 3rd gen being gone and how horrible the 24 is. And then you ask them, have you driven one? Have you even seen one, you know, in person? Have you sat in one? Well, no. Well, what the hell are you basing your thinking on? I don't understand. Other people on the web? Come on, man. Let's see. And congratulations, Garrett. You are going to love it. What's the lead time? How long did they tell you it would take to get that new truck? Wayne Scott, ask Rob in a couple months, not now, if he regrets it. Well, I hope you're here in a couple months, and you can certainly ask me. Connor Copeland, do you think the Gen 1 Tacoma is the best Tacoma to be made? I couldn't tell you that because I never owned one, so I don't know. I mean, I love the body style of it. Ryanu Azada. Right now, the turbo engine is a new item for the Tacoma as Toyota is competing with Mazda in this area. I don't know. I don't know if they're competing with Mazda or not, particularly since Mazda does not have a pickup truck. However, it's not a new engine for Toyota. They've had turbos, obviously, for a while, so it's not like they're brand new at this. George Andrews says, Toyota is using turbos in many new models. They're going to be in big trouble if they all fail. It might take them a year or two, but I'll bet on Toyota. Absolutely. I mean, aren't they like the number one, I think, aren't they the number one car manufacturer right now, I think? Wayne Scott says, did they take your truck trade-in and leave all the mods on it? Were they offering more if your mods were not on it? They didn't take anything off of it, I don't believe. I took a lot off of it before I traded the truck. Is your truck worth more with mods on it? No. Dealerships want trucks or cars or whatever that are stock because those are the ones that appeal to the masses, right? Because even though you might think that those pink wheels you put on your truck are the bomb, I wouldn't like it. And I wouldn't buy your truck if it had pink wheels on it, as a crazy example, right? But let's say that, I don't know, you put pinstripes all over it and you chrome the truck out. You got chrome everywhere. I wouldn't like that either. But let's say it's just a basic truck. Doesn't have anything on it that really stands out that's crazy, right? That's what's going to appeal to more people. So mods are never a positive on a truck. Plus, I find that a lot of people, when they do mods, they don't do a really great job. Like adding a bunch of lights and stuff, let's say, and then you pop the hood, and here's this bird's nest of wires under there. I mean, they'll tell you everything's great. I love all the lights on my truck. Everything works great. Yeah, but it looks like a fire hazard under there, you know? So mods aren't necessarily a good thing. MHAM14, TRD off premium in ice cap. Awesome. John Jager, hey Rob, if you Google on Toyota's website, they say that these engines should last 200,000 miles. Let's give 200,000 miles me. 200,000 me, let's give or take, I guess. I understand the gist of what you're saying. Autocorrect sucks. 200,000 miles is not much compared to the, 400, 300, 500,000. I mean, that's really low. I'm surprised. Let's see. John Cagato. Going to put Raptor lights on this week. Any safety issues? Using an antifuse, which everyone seems to use for them. I don't like antifuses. I mean, I did a mod just yesterday on the new Tacoma back there where I used an antifuse, but they always make me nervous. Plus, you got to find out which outlet to plug into. You realize if you now here's something to think about, right? If you use an antifuse, and most, not all, but almost all Tacoma fuses are powered. In other words, when the truck is off, the fuse panel, the slot, is still live. So when you put your lights in there, they're going to be on. They're going to be on all the time because there's going to always be power going to them. So you have to look for an outlet, and there aren't many, that don't have that. Now, here's another thing for you to consider. Some of the outlets fire up when the truck does its cycle to relieve pressure in the gas tank. You ever been in your garage and you hear like a pumping noise or an air fan kind of noise or something coming from your Tacoma? That's because about every 4 hours or so, it kicks on and it normalizes the power in the gas tank. It kind of cycles. And when that happens, some of those fuses that you think are not on become active. They're triggered. So your lights are going to come on. You know, it depends on where you hook them to, but it can happen. So you just have to be careful. It's what people use though. I just don't like them, but I use them myself. Let's see, where am I? Ryanu Azada. Aloha, Rob. Do you feel that the turbo engine will last longer than the third gen Toyota Tacoma engine? Ryanu, I have no idea. Do I feel that it will? I would have nothing to base those feelings on, so I couldn't tell you. I hope so, although, you know, let's be honest. How long do I keep my trucks typically? You know, maybe a year, 2 years, something like that. So am I really concerned about the longevity of the engine in the new Tacoma? I would say I'm not overly concerned, but I don't want to spend all my time sitting at the dealership waiting for them to fix things. And I know those might make good videos because people love freaking misery. You know you do. If I just got on here and talked about rainbows and butterflies, nobody would get on here. Nobody. But if I get on here and talk about the new Toyota Tacoma has a turbo problem and the engine blew up and now it's on fire. And speaking of fire, I did an electrical mod yesterday, and one of my biggest fears is doing an electrical mod. I mean, it was on a brand new Tacoma, right back there. One of my biggest fears is that I'm going to do an electrical mod, and then I'm going to come out the garage, and the frickin' truck is going to be on fire. And even worse, that my whole house is going to catch on fire. Could you imagine doing that? Putting an electrical mod, maybe some lighting, like some Raptor lights in your Tacoma. You park in the garage. You think everything's great. You hooked it to one of those circuits that kicks on when the fuel pump normalizes the pressure in the gas tank. It catches on fire, burns your house down. Wouldn't that be great? I don't think I'd like that too much. By the way, got to remind you again. Let's do it. You ready? Yeah, we got to grab the camera and jump up. If you haven't yet, I would ask that you please go ahead and click that subscribe button. Helps out the channel, shows me a little bit of love. I really would appreciate it. And don't forget to click the thumbs up button too if you're in here. I assume that you like this live stream. I hope so. Let's get some more comments. We got a couple left here. Brandon 700 says, I can't wait to see what kind of wheels and tires you mod the truck with. I hope I didn't miss that. Whatever it is, I'm certain it'll be tasteful. Yeah, I have a question for you guys. I have a question. You know, the truck is supersonic red, right? We all know that. I think I've beaten that to death. It is supersonic red. So, given that, you can see what the wheels and tires are now. Now, obviously, I would go with a more aggressive tire, something with some more appeal to it, and some negative offset, because I want to pop those tires outside a little bit, nothing crazy, but I want to pop them outside of the wheel well. I mean, look at that. Is there a tire in there? Wait a minute. Oh, there it is. Nope. But I want them to stick out maybe about this far, not much, maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches, 3 inches, whatever. It's always deceiving when you're looking at it from different angles. So I would go with a negative offset, but what I've been thinking, instead of going with just black, I thought, what if I went with bronze? What do you think about bronze? Not gold, but bronze in that color. Do you think that would go good? Comment down below. Let me know what you think. Bronze or no bronze? I don't know. I thought about maybe like a not pewter, like a gray wheel or something, but yeah, that's blah. I don't know. And I have not obviously done anything yet. John Jager, hey Rob, on your 2024, can you still use 87 octane? You don't have to use super premium. Well, I happen to have the manual right here, and I got to tell you, I was thinking about that. I know I looked this up once already because that's always the big thing. But what does Toyota say about it? Do they say anything about it? Let's see, fuel type, page 615 of the manual. So here you go. If you're watching this and you just got your truck, it's on page 615. What does it say here? Fuel. It says fuel type, unleaded gasoline only. So don't put that environmental corn stuff in there. So, you might not use that. Octane rating, 87, research octane number 91 or higher. So it's 87 or higher. And the fuel tank capacity while we're here is 18.2 gallons. That's 69 liters for you up there in Canada, or 15.2 imperial gallons. Is that a European thing? What is an imperial gallon? Is that like what the Queen uses? I don't know. But anyway, there's the answer to your question. 87. You do not need to use some super duper expensive premium gas. Let's see. Where was I? Abu Bakar Frank from Palestine. Hello from London. Oh, here we go. Now we're trying to get political again. We're going to get rid of that. You know, it's funny. I find that after the stream's on for about half an hour, 40 minutes or so, then the crazies start to come out. You know, people who are wanting to push their agendas or talk about craziness. You know, maybe it's lunchtime for the kids. I don't know. I don't understand. All Things RC says, I got to fix my 05 Tacoma, blew the engine. Oh, that sucks. Unless you put a sail in the bed, it's probably not much fun to ride. KBB Barbecue, he's doing chilies, steak, and some fire. Boy, I'm hungry. It's lunchtime for me. I'm ready to eat. That's awesome. Dr. Zay says yellow. No. Brand 700 says yes and absolutely. Bronze all the way. I think bronze would look cool on here. I mean, black would look good too, but bronze? Yeah. Ryanu says, aloha Rob, are you planning to install seat covers in your Tacoma, protecting the, let's see, new Tacoma and protecting the leather seats? I do not have leather seats, mine are cloth, and no, I am not a big seat cover fan. You see, I'm of the belief that when you buy a new vehicle, you should enjoy it. Not cover up the seats so that the next person can enjoy it, you know? Seat covers, unless you have maybe a dirty job or hobby or whatever, then it makes sense to protect them. But just, you know, normal stuff, use the seats, enjoy the seats. That's my thinking anyway. All Things RC, I learned my lesson to not do donuts and burnouts. Yeah, it's not good for your engine, really. Garrett Brartos, thanks Rob, arrives approximately the last week of April. TRD Sport Premium 6 foot and underground, super excited. Congratulations, that's awesome. Wayne Scott says, matte black would look plain, simple, and clean. Yeah, that's the thing, man. It would look plain and simple. I'm looking for a little more zing, a little more jazz, you know what I mean? Mark Garcia, hey Rob, how do you feel about the overall quality of your truck? Spot on, man. I haven't experienced any quality issues that I can think of with this truck. You know, people talk about paint, thin paint, poor paint, things not painted. Somebody told me the other day that their door sills were not painted. They were still primered. And I'm like, oh man, that sucks. I guess the robot missed the spot. Maybe that robot ran out of paint and then the guy inspecting it when it was done, maybe he was wearing sunglasses or something and couldn't see it. I don't know, but how do you miss that as an inspector at Toyota? I mean, all your job is to make sure it was painted, isn't it? That's your whole job. And you missed the door sills not being painted. How does the dealer miss that? Oh, I guess the door sills aren't painted. We'll go ahead and sell it anyway, sucker. I mean, come on. Bill Baker, put spacers on it, about 1.5 inch. The area will bring it out for you. Yeah, I've thought about doing spacers, but I'm not a fan of the wheels themselves. I mean, they're not bad, but I'm not a real fan of chrome or silver, you know, and they definitely have chrome, silver, that look. It's too bad they weren't all black. I mean, if Toyota would have just painted them all black, that would have been cool with me, and I wouldn't have changed them. I probably would have just gone with spacers, you know. Let's see. John Jager. Hey, Rob, use black rims on your truck. 2024, it'll look sharp. Yeah, everybody uses black, though, man. I mean, that's just, you know, I don't know. Matthew Reynolds. Howdy, sir. How's the T24A? Have you noticed any quirks on a day-to-day basis? No, I haven't. It's been spot on. It's awesome. Runs fine, nothing weird, plenty of power, plenty of comfort, nice and quiet. It almost feels, you know what? The new Tacoma to me seems like Toyota put out the luxury version. This is the luxury version. And it's not even a limited or anything. It's a TRD Sport. But it's like Toyota did a redesign and created the luxury truck. And man, does this thing feel big. You know, I'm sitting in it the other day and I'm next to it was an F-150 or an older Tundra, I can't remember. And I felt like I was almost, if not the same size as that truck, the same height, the same girth. And I thought, this truck really does feel bigger. I don't know. I don't know if it is or not. You know, that's where it would be nice. I should look up the dimensions of the third gen and see, because it does. It feels bigger. Don A says, I'm late today. What did I miss? You missed everything. Everything. Now you've got to go back and watch the rebroadcast of the live stream because you missed it all. I mean, where have you been? I was here. It's not on me. But thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Donna Gunna. Hey Rob, missed my comment up top. Would appreciate input. You know, in all that you typed, you probably should have just retyped the question, because there's a lot of comments on here, and I don't see any comment that you put on. So I don't know what to tell you. Why you should just, whatever it was, why didn't you just restate it? I mean, I don't know. Wayne Scott says, it's basically a mini Tundra. A lot of people say that. There are some styling cues for sure. Danae says, I heard about the brake pin holding pad issue. Yeah, I've been hearing that. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it was one truck. I don't know if somebody changed the wheels and the people that replaced the wheels damaged it. Now they're trying to claim that it's a Toyota problem. You know how people are, right? They do something to screw things up, and then all of a sudden it's the dealer's fault or the manufacturer's fault. Who knows? I haven't heard of a mass problem with that, so I don't know. Matthew Reynolds, that makes sense if you think about it. Mid-size trucks are now the same size as full-size trucks 20 years ago. You're right. You're absolutely right. Philip Ashley, I recently purchased a 4Runner in red with bronze Toyota wheels with KO2s. Look sharp. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about, that kind of a look. Imham, I say Tundra is a bigger Tacoma. I like that. I like that a lot. Brand 700. Toyota put a lot of work and time into this new redesign. They had to get it right. It may not be for everyone due to its 4-cylinder engine, but it'll be a great vehicle overall. I agree. There's one other thing I want to mention. You know, some guys out there had a problem with their Tacoma where they broke the front differential, screwed up the 4x4 system. You all know what I'm talking about, right? But something has been brought to my attention. You know, Toyota lists a suggested break-in period on the truck. I don't think they broke in the truck. They couldn't have broken in the truck. Or maybe they did. I don't know. But could that have been why they had a problem? Because it didn't follow the break-in procedure? I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Vec. We need the hybrid pricing already. This next Toyota event can't come sooner. I need to know whether I'm going to get a Trail Hunter or a Chevy ZR2. I'd like to know. I'd love to know what the cost is going to be. I think it's going to be outrageous. Maybe that's why they're not telling us. It's going to be so expensive. Tommy Cortinas. Are the cats better theft deterrent than the previous gen cat shield, or a cat shield may be necessary? I don't know. I haven't crawled under the truck yet. I'm thinking I may put the truck up on the lift and do a video. I've had some people request that I throw it up on the lift and kind of show what's underneath and everything. So I may do that. I haven't decided yet, or I may just crawl underneath there. You know, I don't know. I can't answer that. I don't know. BX Staff Home says, you ain't doing what they did. I am not. Wainscoat says, the new Tundra is has a nice interior and exterior wise, but is been having a lot of problems. Hopefully the 2024 Tacomas don't follow their big brother. Yeah, there's been a few issues with the Tundra. I don't know. Hopefully everything is all good, right? That's it. We're caught up with the comments, so we're going to call it a day. I am hungry. I am going to go grab me some lunch. Real quick, though, on your way out, if you haven't already, I would really appreciate it if you'd click that subscribe button. It does help out the channel. Again, it doesn't cost you a dime. And if you're so inclined, there is a notification bell that you can click up, and you'll get notifications when the lives go on, when the videos go up, things like that, so that you don't miss out on anything. Like a few of these questions have led me to believe people have, because I've covered some of that stuff. Anyway, have a great Wednesday. Stay safe. Thanks for the sub, Matthew. I appreciate it. Carrie, my thinking is Toyota 4-cylinder turbo engine will have the same problems as a 4-cylinder engine. Carrie. We'll see. Ryan New, aloha Rob, does the turbo engine provide better fuel efficiency than the previous gen? I'm getting better fuel economy, so far so good. Anyway, stay safe out there. We'll see you guys live again on Sunday. That's Sunday to the particular type out there. Or maybe before. If I get the urge, I'll come on again. Appreciate y'all. Don't forget, click that subscribe button, and we'll see you all next time on the web. Bye.